Hello, patrons. This is Cyber Saloon. Tensei Slime Season 2 is finally back, aka Civ 5, aka Rise of Nations. I'm really glad this one's back. I had said it in my on tap video. This one kind of surprised me. When it first came out, I didn't think I would like it as much as I did. And it ended up, I would definitely put it in like my top 15 probably favorite anime. It's such a feel-good like anime, and it has like kind of like unique premise. I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did. I was expecting this just overly goofy like kind of anime, but it ended up becoming like extremely entertaining. It's a slime that essentially is building his own empire full of like these just odd different types of monsters, and it's actually really engaging and it's actually extremely entertaining. A lot of the characters are really cool. It's always fun. It's definitely something I'll like kick back to and watch, and you always have a good time watching it. So in this season, I'm glad this one's back. We start off with Rimiru. He's like teaching these kids. It's the kids that Shizu had taught, and like all the kids that had died and kind of had been like reincarnated at that school. And so Rimiru's kind of like teaching them, and the new teacher comes in who's like a bae, and then like some of the kids are really funny. The one of them kind of reminds me of Bakugo from My Hero Academia, and the blonde one too. They're like, "Oh, we're not gonna miss you. Who cares?" So I thought that was really funny. But of course, Rimiru has better things to do. Of course, teaching the kids is important. Rimiru, of course, really cares about all those kids, but he also has a giant empire of monsters to run, and we see in this episode kind of the main theme of it. He's starting to get into the small kind of details of running an empire, all the really bureaucratic tasks. He has to send out a bunch of delegations to all these other like empires, not just the dwarven one, but his empire, like his the empire he runs basically like borders with like a bunch of demon lords empires, and some of them are a little bit militant heavy. So he has to prepare his delegations to go talk to them to make sure they're safe. Not surprising. My favorite race in this series is the ogres. I love the ogres. I forget some of the names. There's like of course like the super over the top badass one who kind of has like those strings. Like he was pretty like he's pretty big, I guess, in the orc arc. But the blue-haired one's pretty cool. The red-haired one's actually my favorite, but the two girls are actually really funny, too. There's a moment where Rimiru is kind of expected to give a speech to his subjects, basically, and they're Shala and Shion, I think her name is, the big-titty fucking secretary chick. They come to him like, oh, yeah, we have a bunch of different outfits we want you to try. And oddly enough, like, Shala, like, throws him a wedding dress. I'm like, Shala, why'd you give him a wedding dress if this guy's gonna give a speech? Like, alright. And then, of course, his secretary, like, I thought this was really cool. For any of you who play Terraria is one of my favorite games. This is why I love slime so much. It's just, if you put stuff on them, they just look so goofy to where you can't help but like them. And you see it a lot in Terraria. But when his secretary like gave him the samurai armor, I thought it actually looked pretty hilarious. And of course, she of all people, because she's a badass, like gave him the samurai armor. I thought he looked pretty goofy with it. I actually thought it looked pretty good on him, to be honest with you. Of course, you know, if he's going to be addressing a subject, he wanted to do something more kind of stately. So, of course, when he goes and speaks to his subjects, he has kind of like an emperor, kind of like kingly kind of facade look that's going on to him. He's got like the cape. He's got like the really fine, like fitted uniform. So, of course, he looks like smooth and, you know, fits the part of actually like being like basically the emperor of like this kingdom. Also, I don't know if I noticed him in the last season, but Gobzo, the Goblin guy, just straight up looks like a gobfish. Just he kind of reminds me of like a blobfish in real life. If you've ever looked up like a blobfish on Google, they're just ugly as sin, and like Gobzo kind of reminded me of that in the series when Gobzo was kind of like, "Hey, isn't this cool?" I was like, "Is that a blobfish?" I thought that was really funny. So, as I mentioned earlier, his empire is growing, and while some of the nations that he's bordered with are like they have good relations with, like the king of the dwarves, I know like he has like pretty decent relations with them. There are certain countries that border his empire that are run by like kind of over the top, a little bit militant kind of demon lords, And so, like, he sends the head of the ogres. I forgot his name, but he's the red-haired one. I think he's he's the leader of the bunch. I think he's the strongest as well. I'm not sure. Him and the blue-haired one are, like, stupid strong. But he basically sends him ahead to make sure that, like, not just to make sure it's safe, but also because, like, he has a keen intuition. So he wants to make sure that he can trust them as well. So that's not the only one. There's a bunch of different kind of corners that he's sending delegations to, furthering trade, furthering relations, and all the stuff that basically comes with running an empire. And how cool is it? That's one of the reasons I love this series. They have like the coolest things. Like they have direwolf mounted fucking carriages. Like, how cool is that? Can you imagine, like, okay, you're receiving like a delegation from another nation. Here come these big ass direwolves, like carriages, like leading the emissaries. It's like, shit. All right, these boys ain't playing around. We might not want to mess with them. I just thought that was really cool. And of course, later we see giant fucking tiger drawn carriages. So we'll get to that later. On top of sending delegations to other countries, there's also certain countries that are sending their delegations to Rimiru's capital. So we see like a lot of the, like, Shala is like helping out some of the, like, the orcs in the kitchen. And they're like making like all these different like types of like extravagant dishes. We see like the mansion being painted by the orcs as well. The scientist guy, he's like kind of showing like some of the servants how to be like extremely like polite and courteous, and so they're kind of getting ready for this like some of the delegations from other countries to come visit, of course. And then we see like the hot dryad chick who runs like the Jura forest. She like appears before Rimiru, and she talks about how she has also sent, like, there's a specific demon lord he kind of mentions at the beginning, what he's a little bit militant, that he had sent some delegates to, and like the Dryad was basically telling Rimiru that, hey, like, I've also sent like a delegation here, so like we're kind of with you on this end. We also it's been like more than a year since I've seen full the series, like from season 1. I've been trying to rewatch it lately. But I don't remember Yom in like his group, like the group of like really strong humans we've seen this episode. But I think Yom's like he's a complete badass. Of course, because it's like an anime, of course we see like these two like girls in the forest, and they're like picking some stuff. And then this mushroom that looks like it should probably be on a watch list due to the way that it's shaped comes at them, and I don't even want to know what the fuck that thing was gonna do, but I hopefully just eat them. But we see Yom like come up and basically just cut the thing down like it's nothing. Again, I think Yom and his group of mercenaries are really cool. Like the little dweeby looking one, I'm not sure if I would, I don't know if he's like someone you probably want to protecting you, or how efficient he is. But Yom's a badass. I think the other guy with him is really good too, and we see that a little bit later during the episode. Then we get like we get this cool scene of like the boys like in they're basically in a hot tub, and they're kind of discussing politics, and they're all drinking brandy, and like Yom and like his group's like, what is this stuff? And the little dweeby, it's really funny because like the really dweeby guy is like completely drunk, and like to the point where like he doesn't really know what's going on. Yom and the other dude are just like mellowed out, and they're like, yeah, like, they're still cognizant, but the guy in the glasses is just like, he's on like cloud 9, like he's just big chilling. While the boys are just kind of getting sloshed in some brandy, then we are then treated to a glorious sight by the animators. They know what we came here for. It cuts over to like kind of like the women's section of like their version of the hot tub, and it's basically just Shala, which is like the pink-haired one, and the secretary chick, and like the goblin chick. I don't know who the fourth one is. She looks kind of human, but I don't think she is. So we're treated to a shot of big anime titties. So we have to really thank the animators on this one. It was a glorious shot. Didn't serve much of a purpose, but let's be honest, it's still appreciated nonetheless. So after that, like Rimiru and like Yom and everyone else is just kind of talking, and he kind of drops the bomb on them that, hey, oh yeah, by the way, like one of the Demon Lord's delegations is showing up tomorrow. And Yom and everyone else is just like, all right, wait, like they're freaked out, like, wait, what do you mean like they're showing up tomorrow? And then like the skinny guy with the glasses, the guy's just gone. Like he's like, oh, okay, like he's way too drunk. But they kind of freak out because it's kind of like a short notice thing. And then we get the delegation that shows up. They're really trying to outdo one another here. Rimiru's group has direwolf led carriages, which is just badass, if just to even say it. But this Demon Lord's delegation may be better. I thought this was so badass. I'm like, how do you even outdo that? Like, it's got giant lightning tiger like drawn carriages, so they just kind of roll up, and it looks like. And Rimiru doesn't want like any violence or anything to get like too out of control. This is supposed to be like a peaceful delegation. He doesn't want war or anything like that. So the first one that the Demon Lord, like, he's basically sent his 3 elite. They're called Beastmasters. The first one kind of comes out and like, you're like, oh yeah, like she seems like she's pretty diplomatic. And then the second one comes out, and I have to say it right now. I'm calling it right now. Sophia is the best waifu of the series. She's been on screen for like 4 minutes, but I'm calling it right now. So Sophia is the second one of the, like this Demon Lord's like Beastmasters, and she's like this shit talking, just overconfident, like kind of like beast chick. I'm not quite sure what, like, she's like. It looks like some type of like tiger or something. That's probably what it is. She's like part tiger or some shit. But she's badass, and I love her character design as well. I love her. I think she's actually a really cool character. She starts shit talking Rimiru. She starts shit talking humans. Not exactly the most diplomatic person you want to bring out to like bring together like an alliance. So she starts shit talking Rimiru, and especially humans. I guess like a lot of the beast races kind of like think the humans are a bunch of pussies. So Rimiru kind of instigates this though. He tells Yam, "Are you gonna sit there and take that?" And Yam's like, fine, like, I guess I'll go do something. He didn't really want to do anything, but Yam starts to go out there and do it, but the secretary chick gets pissed because, like, probably the most loyal person, like, they're all loyal to Rimiru, of course, but I think Ranga and the secretary chick are, like, the most loyal, but again, like, they all are, but, like, you're not gonna talk shit to Rimiru without facing the secretary chick, and she's, like, stupid strong, too. So she goes up and starts to fight Sophia, and it actually looks evenly matched. I would say that the secretary chick, she's stronger. Sheena is stronger, but I would say that Charlotte, she's like stupid fast. This girl can move at like fucking Mach 3. She's like flying around. It looks like that it's like evenly matched, but one of the other Beastmaster, Grucius, comes out and he fights Yam. And I'm actually surprised. Like, I didn't think I didn't think Yam was a slouch, but like this guy's supposed to be kind of like an elite, and he's actually holding his own pretty well against Grucius, which is like the other Beastmaster. Curious who will fight the first one, the first chick who initially came out. I feel like, and that's kind of how the episode ends. I don't feel like the fight's going to continue on too long for the next episode. I think Rimiru's just kind of doing this to gauge the character of like the people he's dealing with. He's kind of doing it to gauge the strength of them as well, because these are like the 3 basically elite of like this Demon Lord's empire. So he's kind of I assume he's just doing it to gauge them, but I don't see the fights going on for too much longer. As entertaining as they are, I hope we get like a small bit longer, but not overly, because we know it's just like they're not going to be enemies. But I'll say it, Sophia, I love Sophia. I think she's hilarious. Only been in the show 5 minutes, but I'm calling it. I do think that you might see Milim come out next episode. I was kind of surprised she wasn't in this one, but I do think, Milim will come out eventually. But yeah, I don't expect the fights to carry on for too long. But overall, I thought it was a really good episode. It's kind of like, it was a good foundational episode. Kind of like good to be back. The plot moves forward. We got fan service. We got new characters that look interesting, and we got honestly everything you expect out of Slime. To be honest with you, like everything that makes Slime entertaining and worth watching, we got out of this episode. I'm really excited to meet the new characters, and I hope Sophia stays around longer. But again, like the outro is great. I thought, well, not great, but the outro is good, and I like the intro is really good too. I'm an outro guy. I like outros more just because they're like a bit more chill. But the intro is really good too. The intro to the second part of Slime Season 1 is actually one of my favorite openings ever. It's not an outro, of course. I was talking about outros, but the intro to Part 2 of Season 1 of Tensei Slime is actually really good. But that's what I think is going to happen in the next episode. Maybe Milim shows up. I'm not sure. Like, Milim's stupid strong, of course. She's the Demon Lord herself. We saw that last season. I do think that the fight won't continue for too long, and I do think you'll probably get some like points of view from the delegations, like the leader of the ogres, the red-haired one. You'll probably get like some of them showing up to different places and kind of like testing the waters on that one. And I don't think this mostly peaceful negotiation will continue for too much longer, but it is entertaining nonetheless. What did you guys think in the episode below? What did you guys think of the episode? Let me know in the comments below. A little bit rough there, but do you think that the conflict's going to continue for much longer? What do you think of Sophia? What do you think of everything in the episode so far? And are you excited for the rest of the season? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one.